Got a piece of cubic zirconia here, kind of a rose color. Going to make a big rectangular brilliant. I have not done this cut before. This one here. It's a rectangular brilliant. Now, it's supposed to be a 2-to-1, so, which means twice as long as it is wide. It's got a lot of small ones here you've got to place in, and they're a matter of judgment. So, that's where it comes in to play. You got to get it to look like the diagram. Riley here's to help. She's here most of the time to help me out. So what we've got done so far is we've got 2 culet facets first. Got 2 facets to form the culet on either side of the settings here. So we had 95 and 1, and the other side would be 47 and 49. So I've done those, and the next 2 sets are on the same settings at a different angle. You just kick it up 5 degrees and do the same thing. Now the key is to get this small enough here, and I don't think I've got it small enough yet. I'm going to go on and do a couple more facets and then probably come back and recut that to make it smaller, because it should be about 1/5 the size of the width of the side. So we're on the 3rd set here. Okay, we're cutting this W1 facet. That's our 3rd set. Now where it's going to start is we're going to start way out of the corner of the stone, is where it's going to touch your plate first, and the cut will start working its way in and working its way in all the way up to where it'll touch the bottom of your 2nd set of facets here. And then you do the same thing over here and there and there. So what that's going to look like is this. When you start cutting, it's going to be out here, and this line is going to keep going and growing up and up and up and up until I touch the bottom of that facet. And that's where you stop. We're actually going to stop just a fraction short, of course. And then you go over and do the other side, and then on the other side of the stone you do the other 2. So let's continue on doing that. I'm working on a pre-polish on the pavilion. This is cubic zirconia, of course. It's pretty hard, number 8. So I'm pre-polishing with an 8000 grit on a tin lap. It's actually tin lead lap. And it's working pretty good. I'm taking all the pits that are left from the 3000 grit plate. It's working alright. There's Riley. Yeah, she's here helping. Likes to help. So it's doing okay. So I'm going to continue on doing that. We've got a lot of work to do yet on this pavilion. Alright, we've got our cubic zirconia. We've got the sides of the pavilion pre-polished at 8000. And now I'm switching to the ends. I started the first 2 facets here, and I'll be working on the next set of 2 there. And like I said, we're pre-polishing to 8000. Once we finish that, then we can start over polishing with 50,000 all the facets on the pavilion. Well, we have our gemstone pre-polished to an 8000 using diamond grit on a lead tin lap. I'm now going to polish it on this lap here. This is actually one my dad had made. There's a bronze base plate, and what he did is he glued a type A metal plate to it. He cut it round, glued it on, and then he turned it on the lathe to smooth it out. This type A metal actually came from the old News Herald in the town I grew up in. He got some plates there, and he made some fastening plates out of them. So it's well balanced, and it works really nice. And I have had no problem polishing anything on that. So I've got 50,000 grit on it, and we're going to start the polish now on the pavilion. And as always, Riley is here too to help me. She just showed up here. She wants to see the good looking stone at the end when it's polished. You ready, Riley? Yeah, I think she is. She's kind of tired, I think. Here we go. We're going to get started. Well, here we have our cubic zirconia. The pavilion is finished. Polished to 50,000. I tipped my quill to instead of 90 on the girdle, so I didn't polish the whole thing. I went to 89.5, so you can see that there's just a little bit of the actual girdle outline polished, and that's plenty. There's no sense polishing the whole thing. So now it's ready to glue up in a transfer. I will pick out a V-dop and glue this up and let it sit for a day to harden up and get started on the crown. Well, we've got the cubic zirconia off the transfer jig and back onto the stick here, the quill anyway. And I'm working it down, getting the girdle line set. I did take a 100 grit plate, which was kind of rough, but I had a lot of material to remove, so I removed a lot of that, so I'm a little closer now. And then I switched to a 600 I've got on there, I believe, 600 grit plate, and I'm going to take that down pretty close to where I want to be. I'll hit the two facets on each side. They're one off of the center, so it'd be 195 and 49.47. And then we'll turn to the sides and go 23.25 and 71.73, and we'll get the girdle line set. Then from there we can continue on with the rest of the crown facets. .45. Good size stone. Let's put it on the turntable, see what it looks like. A little polish.